The following video was brought to you in part by Control Freak. Use code MUTINY for 10% off at checkout. Hello you beautiful people out there, what is going on? This is your friend Brady coming at you fast with some Destiny gameplay. That is right, we are switching it up a bit because the Taken King is just around the corner, which is the newest expansion coming to Destiny. And with that newest expansion are a lot of patches that are absolutely game-changing, game-breaking, and actually in a good way, unlike most people would consider game-breaking. So it's actually game-rejuvenating, yay! Now, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Control Freak. Like you saw in the beginning of the video, I did use Control Freaks in this video. I do use Control Freaks on all of my controllers. I don't play without Control Freaks, and they definitely help me when playing first-person shooters. So, let's get on with the topic of the video. Here you guys are seeing some Crucible gameplay with the Necrochasm, which was recently buffed, and it is now really awesome, and I love using it, at least in Crucible for now. Because soon with the Year 2 weapons, the damage is going to be slightly irrelevant, but that's alright. Because let's just talk about our general, at least my general feelings about the Destiny expansion at the moment. And how awesome I think it is. Because it's a whole new game now, guys. If you are the kind of person who, just left Destiny after a little bit because you thought, oh, it was too repetitive, it was too boring, there's nothing interesting about it. First thing, let me say, too repetitive, bruh. I mean, like, Call of Duty is pretty fucking repetitive. But I didn't say that, alright? Nobody heard me say that. But it was a bit boring, I have to admit. I did take my breaks from the game as well. But now it's absolutely rejuvenated. Everything's different. The HUD is different. The narration is different. The way the quests are set up is different. The weapons are different. New subclasses, new maps. Everything is just refreshing. And it's the same kind of elements, like the same basic concepts and mechanics that are still Destiny. It's not a whole different game, but it's just rejuvenated. The way it looks, the way it feels, everything about it just makes it feel like a new game, but it's still Destiny that we all know and love. And I am so excited, and I was so excited to come back with this new update because they changed a lot of stuff. Now, I did a video on my own channel talk about the updates. I'm not going to go into depth on this video because there's simply just not enough time. There's just so many things that they changed. But I think it's for the better, because I feel like what Destiny needed with its system, for those of you who don't know, Destiny has a loot system that, at least for me, is the main purpose, the main drive for me in this game, is getting that loot, getting those exotics, completing those difficult challenges and getting really good rewards for it. Obviously, that's the point of a lot of video games. Is like you complete something difficult and you get rewarded for it. In multiplayer games, it's you beat the other team in your first place and then you get rewarded for it. We always seek that rewarding feeling. And with Destiny, we did occasionally get the rewarding feeling. We got an exotic drop, or we got a legendary drop that we were really hoping for, or we got a certain shader, but it wasn't direct enough. It was pretty random. Like, you didn't do too many specific things to get specific drops. If you wanted an exotic, yeah, you do the Nightfall, but nonetheless, it was still a random exotic that would drop. It wasn't like, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, and then you get the determined, concrete reward. It wasn't like that for the most part. It was pretty much just, do this, you'll get a good reward, but it will be a random reward. But it will be a good one, trust me, it will be, but it will be random. So, you don't even know what you're doing or why you're doing it. But now, they set up a new quest system where they actually tell you the rewards and actually give you incentive to do them. For example, to unlock the new subclasses, you need to do a certain quest line for each one of the different kind of classes, each different kind of characters. For example, if you want to unlock the bow and arrow hunter, the Void Hunter, you need to complete the hunter-based quest line that they don't have out yet, but they will. They showed it in the preview. For example, so that gives you a solid, concrete, goal to go for, which is very important in games like these, because what a lot of people do is, they farm and they grind and they farm and they grind and they're trying to get their thing and they're trying to get their thing and they never, ever, ever get it. Like with me, for example, it was the Black Hammer, which they nerfed now, so it's pretty much not even that good to have anyway at this moment in time, but I have never received a Black Hammer, and I have done the raid for that stupid weapon every single week for 2 months straight, and then about every other week for up till now. to be honest. Like, it's just because I was just so annoyed at it. I had nothing else to do, really, to be honest, because I got everything else. But at the same time, I was just so discouraged. Like, I'm never gonna get this. Why even bother? You know, some weeks I didn't even bother trying because I'm like, I'm not gonna get it anyway. Screw it. I don't want to try for it because I know I'm gonna end up with nothing anyway. And that's the kind of mentality that people get when they search for these random elements of loot, for these random exotics that you have a chance of getting, not even the ones that you need, exotics and raid weapons and legendaries and such. So when you add a concrete system, it gives you a purpose, it gives you a goal, it gives you motivation and a drive to actually do it instead of it just being a random number generator. For example, I always bring up Borderlands when talking about Destiny because Borderlands was a great game. And the reason that Borderlands was such a great game is because when you were farming for that quote-unquote exotic loot, in that game it was called Legendary actually, when you were farming for the rarest form of loot, most of the good loot would drop from bosses that were in-game. And not just like a random engram kind of drop, like an actual drop. Like, you kill that boss, and he had like a 1% chance, but he specifically was the only person who was able to drop that weapon that you were looking for. And you knew who to farm for, and you knew who to grind against, and you knew where you had to go. And that's why it was so interesting and so fun, because you were guaranteed to have it at a certain point. Like, you knew that you needed to go there, you needed to kill that guy over and over and over again, because the percentage of you getting it is pretty slim. But once you got it, it was so rewarding and it was great. And the reason why is because you were actually attempting for that specific thing and nothing else. Which is why it was such a good idea to tie bosses with their own legendary weapons. So I feel like the changes that they made with Destiny overall are making it a bit more concrete, a bit more straightforward. They're giving you more opportunities to get good loot. They're giving you more ways to do it. It's not just, you know, through one way, like a Nightfall, for example. It's going to be through multiple ways, so I'm personally very excited. Hopefully you guys are too. If you are, please drop a like and comment what you guys are most excited about. But that's about it, guys. The gameplay is coming to a close. I didn't top frag, but it's okay because you never get good stuff when you top frag. Anyway, my name has been Brittic. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and if you did, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. As always, have a wonderful day.